Hi, my name is Lauren Manis and I am an EDSP 5383. Today we are going to be talking about the structure of the eye. The first one we're going to be talking about is the cornea. It's located here. It's the outermost protective layer of the eye. It is transparent and it provides major focal strength for the eye. The next one we're going to be talking about is the aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. The aqueous humor is located here. It's a fluid-filled part. It's the fluid in the anterior chamber. It's located between the cornea and the crystalline lens. This fluid provides most of the nutritional value for this part of the eye. Next, we're going to go to the pupil. The pupil is a black hole that's centrally located. It allows light to strike the it allows light to strike the retina. And cool fact, it appears black because when the light rays enter it, they are completely absorbed by the tissues. The next one we're going to be talking about is our suspensory ligaments. Our suspensory ligaments are a series of fibers that connect our ciliary body and our lens. Next we will be, and they hold this in place. The next we're going to be talking about is our ciliary bodies. That's a ring of muscle fibers that holds the lens of the eye. They control the interocular pressure for the eye. Then we will be talking about our lens, which is here. So our lens is going to be the elastic structure within the eye that helps focus images onto the retina. Our lens will either thicken or narrow depending on distance. So if we're looking at something far away versus if we're looking at something close to where we are. The next one is the iris. This is the color part of the eye. It's going to have our greens and blues and browns. And it controls the amount of light that's able to enter the eye. It's going to increase in length if it is bright outside and decrease the amount of light that the pupil allows in. If we're in a dark room, the iris is going to allow the pupil, it's going to decrease and the pupil is going to be made wider so that we are able to increase the amount of light that comes in and hits the retina. So next let's talk about the canal of Schlemm. The canal of Schlemm is a circular body that we see here. It's a canal and it allows the liquid, the aqueous humor of the interior chamber, it allows it to drain and go through the canals, the veins in the eye, so it allows it to drain. This is really bad if it gets blocked. You do not want it to be blocked. Next we have the conjunctiva. The conjunctiva is a transparent membrane that we see here, and it covers the interior surfaces of the eyelids. It does not go over the cornea though. So then we have our aurea centrala. It separates the light-sensitive parts of the eye to the light-sensitive parts of the eye. So it separates the retina and the ciliary bodies. And so it's a good junction and it marks the transition between the light-sensitive parts and the non-light-sensitive parts. Then you have our vitreous humor, which is located here. This is the fluid, it's jelly-like substance, and it controls the shape of the eye. And it helps the light transmit across to the retina. It's really good because it supports the eye. Because, as you can see, it's a large portion of the eye. The next one we're going to talk about is our lovely blind spot, our optic disc right here. As you can see, there's no rods or cones, which is why it's a blind spot. It is an exit point for things leaving the eye. There are no rods or cones there, which is why it's a blind spot. Next we have our fovea centralis, which is a huge amount of closely packed cones in the eye. It's the most closely packed amount of cones in the entire eye. And it's centrally located. It is located in the center of the macula luetta of the retina. Next, we're going to go to our optic nerve. So our optic nerve here, you see it starts off with our blind spot. The optic nerve is what is going to send the messages directly from our eye to our brain, where our brain is going to transmit the images sent by the optic nerve. It's going to translate them into what we see, so the images that we see. So next we have our macula, which is here. So our macula is going to be the responsible for our sharpest amount of sight. If this part of the eye is damaged, you're not going to be able to see very well. It's going to mess up your focal vision, like your right in front of you, your vision. Next, we're going to go to our retina, which we've been talking a lot about. This is the part of the eye where the rods and cones are located. It has the innermost layer of blood vessels and nerves that serve as the film for the eye. And this is what receives the visual images and then transmits them through the optic nerve to the brain. Next, we have our choroid, which is this black part, if you can see around it. This is where the blood vessels are and supplies the oxygen to the outermost layer of the retina. And it's located between the sclera here and the retina, which is the next thing we're going to talk about. So this right here, is the white part of the eye. It's the outermost layer that joins the cornea and is visible. It's the white part of the eye. So there is our makeup of our eye.